game on the ice. We talk about this penetration. Is it because the Canucks are bigger defensively?
Well, I used my pencil and my abacus this afternoon. Take a look at this. The Stars are a little bit higher than the Vancouver Canucks by a fraction of an inch. And as far as weight goes, the Canucks are heavier by a couple of pounds on average when it comes to defensemen. So it's got nothing to do with size. It has to do with commitment and heart. And because I'm a forward, the forward's coming back to help out the defenseman.
Prior to the Calgary series, we talked about Vancouver having to find an edge. Have they found it?
Well, they found the edge, and the edge has been good, solid defense. The forwards have helped the defensemen. And if Dallas is going to come back and beat Vancouver, they've got to find that edge. But it's tough now because the Canucks have got a huge amount of momentum. I don't know whether they'll be able to do it.
Last year, two teams were able to overcome a 2-0 deficit after the first two games of a series. Now, let's go down to Steve Armand.
Thank you, Don. The other half of the Western semifinal tonight is taking place in San Jose, where the fans are jumping because the Sharks come home with a split in their series with the Leafs. That one is tied at 1. It is game 3 in San Jose tonight. There you see somebody having a shark attack. We'll keep you updated with highlights from that game. Last night, it was New Jersey over Boston 4-2. That was a big win for the Devils to stay in that series. And of course, what more can you say about the New York Rangers and Mike Richter picking up his third shutout in the Rangers' 3-0 win over Washington. Now, the anthem here at the Pacific Coliseum, the sound sensation, a 14-member choir from Richmond.
Tonight for this third game of this semifinal series in the Western Conference, with the Vancouver Canucks attempting to take a stranglehold after winning the first two in Dallas. Andy Moog, who did not play in the first 5 postseason games for Dallas, makes his second consecutive start in goal. And Bob Gainey broke from his pattern. He announced this morning that Moog would be his starting goaltender. Kirk McLean has won 5 in a row. The most consecutive wins for McLean during the regular season was 3. And the last time he won 6 games was back in the 92-93 season. Kerry Fraser is the referee, and the crew he's working with tonight, Swede Knox and Gerard Gauthier, with the standby official Dennis LaRue. The off-ice officials tonight are from Calgary. A couple of lineup changes for the Dallas Stars, and we'll tell you about them in a minute, and some line juggling tonight by Bob Gainey, the coach of the Stars. A couple of number 7s were in the face-off circle to get this one underway, Cliff Ronning and Neil Broughton. Jelena was tripped up by Gilchrist as he attempted to go in on the Vancouver shoot-in. Neil Broughton goes back to pick it up. Broughton flipped it on an open wing. Craig goes off the ice, and he's replaced by Paul Broughton. Here's a chance for Jelena. Jelena, backhand shot that goes wide. Amesso will keep it in. Jelena is hurt. He's down behind the net. He was taken in against the end boards after letting the shot go, and he has not risen since.
Boy, Jelena went in very hard. I'm not sure that he wasn't knocked out on that play. Don, Craig Ludwig is very, very strong. In fact, one game against Montreal, he took me into the boards in a similar fashion, and I separated my shoulder. Watch as Jelena drives here. He does a good job to dump the puck off, and Ludwig gets the elbow up on him. We said at the start of the game there would be no retaliation on Bure, but it doesn't surprise me to see Dallas get more physical. This one could have been an elbow call, and Jelena is out of it right there, and I'm sure he's got his senses partially back now. You know, for people that have never been knocked out, it's a very, very strange feeling. It's hard to believe that you can get knocked out, and then 15 or 20 seconds later, as you get a look at that elbow, and then he crashes into the boards. 15 or 20 seconds later, you get up, and people think you're okay. But the fact of the matter is, look at Jelena's eyes. He's not exactly sure what day of the week it is. I'll bet he can't pick out what month it is, although his faculties are starting to come back to him.
Bill Rochelle, the BC Lions trainer, is out there looking after him. Rochelle replaced Larry Ashley, the Canucks regular trainer for this series, as Larry Ashley had to return home because of illness. And of course, the Vancouver Canuck players are all hoping for a recovery from this latest problem, as are all those who are familiar with Larry Ashley and the fine job he has done over the years for the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, you hear the guys on the bench giving Jelena a pat on the back, saying, way to go, Marty. Well, Fraser didn't make a call on that one, and we'll see if that sets the tone for a game that's much, much more physical.
Kerry Fraser had an interesting day. He flew to Vancouver from Philadelphia. Along the way, his equipment bag was lost, so he wasn't sure whether he'd have his own skates for tonight's game, but they did show up.
Well, he was in the Canuck dressing room this morning getting a pair of skates from Cliff Ronning. He was all set if his skates didn't materialize.
Andy Moog was taking no chances on the long shoot-in, and now a penalty has been assessed against the Dallas Stars.
Well, it's always easy to make a penalty call with a video replay, but Ludwig is getting 2 minutes here for an elbow 25 seconds earlier, not so much for what he did with Linden in front of the net.
Sportsmanlike conduct. The time, 41 seconds. Ludwig for unsportsmanlike conduct.
An unsportsmanlike conduct call against Craig Ludwig. But I suppose it should have been an elbowing infraction on Martin Jelena, as you suggested, 25 seconds earlier, rather than that incident with Trevor Linden.
No question about it. Well, let's take a look at Vancouver's power play. 7 for 35 in the playoffs. Percentage-wise, they're not shooting the lights out. In fact, they're just under 15%.
Trevor Linden is between Bure and Adams. Lume and Brown are back in the points. Brown manages to keep it in. The pass was behind Lume. Lume takes it in deep. Bure picks it up in the corner. What a tear he has been on in this series. A goal in game 1, 2 goals in game 2. comes Linden. Linden going up the middle. Linden shoots, he scores!
Trevor Linden got a goal not unlike this against the Calgary Flames a couple of weeks ago. Watch as he comes across the blue line. It looks after this pass. He picks it up. Looks like he might keep going wide. Then he cuts hard left. Gives himself a little space, and Hatcher can't recover. You also notice a hesitation just before he shoots the puck. He's putting more weight on his stick. I'll show you where it is right now. He bends, doesn't try to shoot as Hatcher stresses him, but waits until Hatcher releases and then fires it between the pads of Moog. The second shot of the game for the Canucks and the first goal.
Scored on the power play by number 16, Trevor Linden.
Bob Gainey having words with Kerry Fraser, and he didn't like the penalty call assessed against Ludwig. But it was a power play goal for Linden from Brown and Lume.
Watch Linden right here. He waits and he waits as he puts more pressure and strength on his stick. Hatcher eventually has to loosen his grip a little bit, trying to catch up. And as soon as he loosens up, Linden snaps the puck. A great goal. Not only a big goal because of the earliness of it, but also because it sets Dallas back on their heels. Now Dallas would like to play a good physical game. Now they start to question things a little bit, because they wonder if they get another penalty, will Vancouver have the same result on the power play?
And Gainey also has to be very aware of a statistic. In 8 of the 9 games Vancouver has played, the team that has scored first has won the hockey game. The lone exception was Game 7 of the series against Calgary. Hatcher manages to keep it in. Babbage goes to the corner. Craig in the lineup for the first time since Game 3 of the series against St. Louis. Was out forechecking. Babbage knocked him off the puck. Lafayette for Courtnall. Diddick goes for the net. And the puck got tangled up in his equipment as it was deflected by Lafayette. Back comes Craig. Racing up his Matvechuk. Craig shot it in, and then the Stars make a change. Evison along the boards is bumped. He can't go anywhere with it, and they succeed in tying it up for a face-off. 17:54 remaining in the period. With an update, here's Steve.
And Don, as promised, we're going to San Jose, where the Sharks open the scoring. Bob Airey beats Felix Potvin from a very sharp angle. When the Sharks score first in the playoffs this year, they are undefeated. And right now, they have a 1-0 lead on the Leafs in Game 3. That series tied at 1. Don?
Well, Craven gets a couple of minutes here for holding the stick. Take a look at the bottom of your screen as his left hand goes onto the stick of Evison as Evison comes in for the body check. 2 former Western Hockey Leaguers. Evison born in Flin Flon, Manitoba.
In this series, the Stars are 1 for 12 on the power play. The Vancouver Canucks have really done an excellent job of penalty killing. Only 2 power play goals in the last 40 shorthanded situations. Courtnall is being watched by Hunter. He leaves it for Ledyard. Ledyard has to go back in his own zone to retrieve it. And this crowd here at the Pacific Coliseum tonight is very vocal. They're reacting to almost everything that's taking place. Here's Courtnall with a shot right on, and it's held by McLean, and the applause is for Kirk McLean.
Well, let's run through the Dallas lineup that's in the building but not on the ice. Mark Tenorti continues to work out on his broken leg. Smolik played the start of this series and is out of the lineup. Alan May, Donnelly, Mike Needham, and Torchia are the rest. Dave Barr got the hook in favor of Mike Craig tonight. As far as Vancouver goes, Dana Merzen is still undergoing therapy. The Canuck lineup stays absolutely identical. As much as these guys are happy that they're winning, they're not too happy that they're not getting an opportunity to play. But they are happy that the series is getting longer. but if Vancouver doesn't win, they don't get a chance to play. It goes on and on. It's a tough position to be in. The bottom line is, if somebody goes down, you don't want to see it, but you have to pick up the slack.
The theory of Pat Quinn is don't tinker with a successful formula. And the Vancouver Canuck formula for killing penalties is get it out of the zone just as quickly as possible. And that's exactly what Trevor Linden did. Eklund comes in, he drops it off for Edmondson. His shot is blocked, the puck is loose. And in the opinion of Kerry Fraser, it was tangled up in the equipment of Jeff Brown, and that was the reason for the whistle.
Well, Brown did a nice job falling in front of that shot, blocking it. If you're going to do that as a defenseman, you better be sure it doesn't get through. Brown right in front of goalie McLean. Not only does he block it, but he pulls it into his pads like a vacuum cleaner. It snuck out. Courtnall finishing the check. Now, you got to have great speed as a penalty killer. If you want to go all the way down and take the body, Matt Tkachuk getting hit here. Courtnall was still back in the play to make it an even man attack, even though Vancouver is one man shy.
Evason keeps it in. Over to the far corner, centering attempt. Gagne threw it out front for Modano, but he couldn't get a shot away, and Linden did a fine job of fending off a couple of checks to fire the puck the length of the ice.
Jeff Courtnall was in front of the net with big Dave Babbage and prodded him a little bit. Babbage swung around, and Courtnall was the perfect height to get Babbage's stick right in the shoulders.
Ross Courtnall goes in deep for Gagne. Gagne tried to turn and fire. He was checked. Shot from the point by Ledgert. That's kicked out by McLean. Babbage flips it up along the boards. Jeff Courtnall starts away with McIntyre. Diddick is also moving up. Courtnall shoots, glove save by Andy Moog. And again, some after the whistle action at the side of the Dallas net, but nothing more serious is going to develop. 15:50 remaining in the period.
Center ice, the Stanley Cup. The tradition, the history, the chance to shoot for $1 million or one of over 25,000 official NHL prizes. Peel the sticker inside the case or call for details on entry without purchase. The Molson Canadian Stanley Cup Contest.
No, you missed. No, you didn't.
Take your best shot.
Hockey Night in Canada on CBC is brought to you by Molson Canadian. Take your best shot in the Molson Canadian Score a Million Stanley Cup Contest. By Ford of Canada, where quality is job one. And by Pepsi. Be young, have fun, drink Pepsi.
Well, Dave Babbage, I mentioned, got into it a little bit with the other Courtnall. Look at him in the crease here as he swings around. Catches Courtnall right at the top of the shoulders and the bottom of the head. If Fraser is looking at that, Babbage is gone for at least 2 and maybe 4.
Back to the line. Glenn's shot is blocked. And Glenn goes back to retrieve it. He tried to fire it in. 15:41 remaining in the opening period. Trevor Linden's goal. A beautiful effort by the captain as he came up the middle. Has the Canucks in front by 1. For more from San Jose, here's Steve.
Don, the Leafs have just tied it at 1. You'll see the youngster, the 18-year-old Krupa, make a mistake. Gilmore jumps on it right away, gets it to Borshevsky. He goes in against Urbe, gets his first of the playoffs. That coming at 7:50, and it is tied at 1 in San Jose.
Well done. Brian Glynn is 6'4", 220 pounds. He's got a great shot. He's got a real long stick, but he cuts about 1.5 inches off it. And I said to him the other day, why are you cutting your stick off? He said, well, because Gino Ojic will take any stick, and if I cut it off, it's too short for him.
Glenn got a good shot away. Now Tim Hunter takes a shot that is deflected to the corner. Glenn did not play in the Calgary series. He got into the lineup after Dana Merzen was injured in Game 7. Ledyard's shot bounces to the corner. McPhee trying to dig it out. McPhee is knocked down by Lume. Trying to move it along the boards is Churla. And finally it does come free back to the net, and Glynn is there to gobble it up. Shane Churla stepped into Sean Antoski right in front of the penalty box. Churla was really out of it after the hit from Pavel Bure. Missed the latter part of the first period and all of the second period. Came back for the third. Here's Bure with a shot right on. And now the Stars start back. It's McPhee leading the way. He has Courtnall racing in. Hedican prevented him from getting to the puck. McPhee blocks a clearing attempt. The Canucks get it again. Cut off again by McPhee. Over to Broughton. Broughton moving in. He shoots wide. At the other point, Ledyard having some problems handling it. Flips it back to the net. It got past Courtnall, and now it's flipped into the crowd with 14:11 remaining in the opening period.
Boy, we have got a game with great tempo so far this evening, not unlike the first period in Dallas a couple of nights ago. Linden once again setting the tone for his team. Wants to increase his playoff scoring through a career. Watch Linden here. Change of pace, zips right around Courtnall, catches him standing still, and then the one-timer by Bure just as the defenseman comes to him. Bure, who is so good at finding the seam, wastes no time in getting that shot away. A nice play by Trevor Linden, gains the blue line, something that Dallas has had a very difficult time doing on Vancouver.
Trevor Linden shares the Canucks scoring lead this year with Pavel Bure. Each player has 6 goals. Craig had problems handling it. Lawler keeps it in. Puck for Modano. Modano is checked, can't get a shot. It's loose in front of the net. And the Canucks come away with it. Lafayette started out, but there's a penalty called against Vancouver. Diddick is going to the penalty box for cross-checking.
We talked about this at the start of the telecast. The way Vancouver collapses, if there's trouble, they say, we're going to take away the dangerous player right away. Let's collapse in and get the puck and see if we can't take it out of harm's way. Watch here as all 5 Canucks come in deep. There's 2-on-1 to begin with. 4-3, and there's your 5th guy that comes to help out. Now you have to be careful when you're doing that. If the puck squirts out to the defense, you got some trouble, but the way Vancouver has been so quick to react, they've managed to take that away. Dallas's power play, great on the road against the St. Louis Blues. This is their first chance against Vancouver on the road, obviously, but their power play numbers have to increase. Coming off of the first series, they were almost 27%, scored 1 out of 4 every time they got the man advantage.
Brian Glynn was down behind his own net. He had also lost his stick as Lume fired the puck down the ice. He's one of the best in the league at getting the puck out of his own zone when his team is playing shorthanded.
Now take heed, youngsters, he uses a straight stick. Makes it a lot easier to do it when your wood doesn't have a huge warp on it.
And again, the Canucks are successful in clearing. 1:30 remaining in the penalty to Diddick. Darian Hatcher having problems getting away from Linden, but another penalty has been called against the Canucks. And for 1:22, the Dallas Stars will have a 2-man advantage. Brian Glynn is going to join Gerald Diddick in the penalty box.
Well, Brian Glynn gets nabbed for high sticking. It happened right behind the net. Gets it up right there. Not a penalty that is intentional, perhaps. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I still like that unintentional high sticking rule. You have to have control of your stick. It's tough when you're 6'4" and you've got a 60-inch metal shaft, but you have to keep care of your stick. Craig playing his first game of this series, takes the body. Glynn follows through a little bit. It's an old trick that Glenn Anderson used to regularly do, make it look accidental. And it just meant that the guy that was taking your body came in a little bit slower. This 5-on-3 will be a key point when this game is over for the Dallas Stars.
Puck is left for Courtnall. Courtnall over to Gagne. Gagne works in deep. Out front from Modano, and McLean makes the save. Cavallini has it. Over to Ledyard. Ledyard. Over for Gagne. Gagne fired it wide. Cavallini picks it up. He moves in. Ledyard one-times it and he fires wide. Ledyard knocks it down. He's being watched by Lune. He shoots. Saved by McLean. The rebound back to Cavallini. He shoots. Saved by McLean. Cavallini has it again. Over to Courtnall. Courtnall looks in front. Gagne couldn't pick up the pass. It comes back to the point to Ledyard. 24 seconds in the two-man advantage. Ledyard shoots. It deflects high off the glass. Back to the point to Cavallini. Cavallini into Courtnall. Gagne in front of the net. He can't get it to him. Courtnall over to Ledyard. Back to Cavallini. Cavallini to Ledyard. Ledyard can't shoot it. Back to Cavallini. Cavallini to Courtnall in front of the net. And it was knocked away as Diddick gets set to come out of the penalty box. Puck in front of the net, and the Canucks will clear.
Well, Dallas can't do much more than that. They moved the puck quickly and got some great shots away. Vancouver, desperation hockey, killing the first one off. 21 seconds left in the second penalty.
Already, Kirk McLean has faced 9 shots. Here's Brown jumping up into the play, coming in with Bure. Bure getting set, he shoots, fired it wide. 7 seconds remaining in the penalty to Glynn. What a big penalty kill this will be for the Vancouver Canucks. Glynn is now back on the ice. Listen to this crowd roar. Shane Churla fighting with Bure along the boards. Back to Hatcher through traffic. It went between the legs of McLean. He wasn't aware where the puck was, but it trickled out the other side. Churla and Bure bump. Hatcher's shot is blocked by Craven. It comes out. Here's Bure picking it up, going in alone. Hit the post. Pavel Bure hit the post, and there's a penalty against Richard Matvechuk. What a first period we have had with 10:46 remaining.
Every once in a while things happen, and it's best not to know anything about them. Well, this is one of those examples. The puck trickles between McLean's legs. He doesn't have a clue it's there. A nice block here by Craven. Watch this steal by Bure. Great speed. Moog stands up to Bure. Thought he might go wide. Off the inside of his pad in the post. He kept his score at 1-0 Canucks.
Back to the point to Bure. Bure over to the other side. Brown fakes it. Bure has it. He lets a shot.
Well, Matvechuk got 2 for slashing Bure on that breakaway. Bure has got this great release. Take a look at it. It's a little bit like a hair trigger. He doesn't need a wind-up. A fake shot. Bure's in the middle of your screen now, and he waits. Hardly a noticeable release at all. Now, Moog went to grab this shot. I don't know whether the stick got in his sight line or what. It looked like his glove was going to get it, and the puck simply went by it. That quick release and some traffic in front. And the Canucks, who just missed getting a 2-goal lead on Bure's breakaway, end up capitalizing 12 seconds into the power play to Matvechuk, and all of a sudden their stats go from 7 on the power play to 9. That percentage will change dramatically now.
An offside call against the Dallas Stars. The 7th of the playoffs for Pavel Bure. After the first 4 games, there were people asking, where is the 60-goal scorer? That was against Calgary. He came back. He scored in Game 5, then got 2, including the double overtime winner in Game 7, and this is his 4th against the Dallas Stars. Pavel Bure is alive and well here on the ice surface of the Pacific Coliseum. Brown and Ronning draw the assists on Pavel's goal.
26.
The Dallas Stars, only once in the 6 playoff games they have participated in this year, have scored in the first period. That was in Game 1 in Dallas. And only once in the playoffs have they opened the scoring in 7 games.
As Gainey said, earlier, gee, it would be nice to play with a lead for a while. Well, he's not going to get an opportunity to do that in Game 3.
Gagne comes to the line. The Stars have to open things up. Gilchrist is checked. Cavallini dodges a check. He shoots and fires wide. At the other point, Hatcher spun around by Memesso, and Ronning takes no chances. He simply flips it out. Cavallini has lost it. Adams steals. Adams goes in. Saved by Moog. The puck got in the feet of Cavallini, and a penalty is being called against Sergio Memesso. 9:27 is the time remaining, and the Vancouver Canucks, leading 2-0, will be shorthanded.
Paul Broughton, brother of Neil, scrapes himself up and makes it to the bench. Memesso gets the penalty called boarding. But as we look at this, I would call it simply being out-muscled. Broughton and Memesso jostling for position. Memesso is very, very strong and strong on his skates. And speaking about strong on your skates, look at Adams as he whistles by Cavallini here. Moog with a huge save that when everything's all over may be forgotten, but it was crucial in the first 10 minutes of this third period.
Now the Dallas Stars realize it's imperative that they start taking advantage of these penalty calls. Russ Courtnall having some problems picking the pass up. The puck bounces behind the net. Dana was checked by Lume. Lume overskated, gets it again, and this time he clears.
Now special teams are always crucial in the playoffs. Dallas, a great power play at the start. And if they want to get back in this series, it'd be a nice time for their extra man attack to start making things go.
Pavel Bure with a streak. The old record, Tom Fergus in '92.
Well, you look at streaks, and sometimes players float along and get points. No discredit, but the streaks aren't quite as significant. While Bure's streak has been an impact streak. Look at these totals, and one of the reasons that Vancouver has dominated the Stars for the first 6.5 periods of this series. Ice time, similar shifts, similar points. Completely different.
.121 remaining in the penalty to Memesso, and the Dallas Stars must be getting a little frustrated at their inability to set up on the power play. Gagne, too far for Courtnall.
Well, here's an example of no penetration. Vancouver stands up straight across the blue line. 4 guys. Dallas trying to carry the puck in, dump it deep with some speed.
Gagne trying to set something up, fakes the shot. Cavallini back to Gagne. Hatcher races in from the point. Cavallini, the lone man back, over to Gagne. Platt is in front of the net. Now Courtnall has it. Courtnall back to Hatcher. A shot through traffic, and Craven will fire it down the ice.
But Vancouver's penalty killing has one objective, and that's put it down to the other goalie, kill some time, and then keep the guys who are playing against to the outside.
Eklund worked his way into the slot, got a shot away. It was blocked by Babbage. He's lost his stick. Bure frees it for Craven. Craven circles at center ice, then takes a hit from Churla as he fires it down the ice. And Memesso is getting set to come out of the penalty box. The Canucks are back at full strength. Cavallini works his way in, looking for Churla, and it's offside.
Well, Shane Churla is one tough customer. Plays it pretty darn honest, takes you square on. And if you want to do anything more after that, he's game as well. Very, very strong. For him to get knocked out the way he did, I can't tell you how hard he was hit. Now, a funny little story that goes with that. After he got rocked, he's sitting in the dressing room trying to get his senses back. Isn't quite sure what day it is, knows kind of what's going on. And Russ Courtnall's got a funny line for him, says, "Charles, don't you remember?" Shane says, "What?" He says, "You're a 50-goal scorer." Snapped a little bit closer back to reality, but I think for a split second, either he thought he was or wished he was. The reality set in. He's playing the same hard-nosed game tonight that has made him captain of the Stars for this series and got him to the National Hockey League from the Western Hockey League.
When Ted Green was the coach of the Edmonton Oilers, a similar situation involving Stephen Rice. They said Stephen didn't remember who he was or where he was, and Ted Green said, tell him he's Wayne Gretzky.
And that works for a while, and still you have to handle that black thing.
You know, Pavel Bure's 8-game point streak began in game 3 of the series against the Calgary Flames, and it is continuing into game 3 of this series with the Dallas Stars. 6:42 remaining in the opening period. 2-0 the Canucks lead, and Mike Modano has been held pointless in this series, and that's something that has to be not only of concern to Modano, who had 5 goals against St. Louis, but the Dallas organization.
Modano is a kid that can score from anywhere. He has a tremendous shot, shaking his head a little bit, wondering what he's got to do. It's not that complicated. Get your feet moving, get a little bit of speed, dump the puck past, and start to build with some confidence. You can't change everything over all at once. As we mentioned once again at the start of this game, when you play against a team that has the confidence that Vancouver has right now, a few good shifts are not going to change the way they play. It'll take periods or games to switch things around here.
Platt tried to move it across to the defenseman Matvichuk. It was beyond his reach. Courtnall brings it out. Soft pass for Craven. He dumped it in. Lume is checked by Platt at center ice. Craig moves it in on the wing for Evison. A shot just goes wide. Hatcher lost it. Courtnall starts back. Lafayette moves up with him. So does Craven. Back to Craven. A one-timer is blocked, and it's turned the other way by the Stars. Hatcher over to Matvichuk. Matvichuk faked the shot, then flipped it towards the net. It's gloved by McLean, left there for Brown. 5:55 remaining in the first period. 2-0 the Vancouver Canucks lead the Stars. 2-0 the Canucks lead this series. Gilchrist takes a bump from Antosky and goes down, and there's going to be a penalty. Antosky got his elbow up on Gilchrist, and Gilchrist is still down. But Antosky is headed to the penalty box. So another power play for Dallas with 5:36 remaining in the first period.
Pepsi Max.
It's new. All the taste of regular cola and 1/3 the calories.
Yeah, sure.
Tastes good, that's all I know.
Gull la beau.
Can't you just enjoy it without the analysis, Sigmund?
What do you think stops some crazy bigwig at Pepsi from just printing up a bunch of false labels?
Jail.
Oh, brother, you are so naive.
New Pepsi Max.
Could you get him a fork?
All the taste, 1/3 the calories.
Ford builds a real serious truck. I have a 7.3-liter turbo diesel. The biggest motor that I've seen. It'll haul anything I want to throw at it. You gotta love this truck. You know, it's good. My truck is pretty important because if it doesn't work, then I can't put my boys to work. I have that comprehensive warranty, and I need a truck that's
nice ride.
Thanks. The guys, they're almost as good as this Ford diesel is.
Well, Antosky gets his feet on the rails here, and as Gilchrist moves a little bit, his body doesn't, but his elbow does to catch up with the shifty Gilchrist. And that earns Antosky a couple of minutes in the penalty box.
Jim, speaking from your playoff experience, how frustrating must it be for the Stars not to be able to really get anything going with the man advantage? Here's Ledyard moving in. I'll get your response in a minute.
I'm watching the game, Don. Don't bother me.
In front of the net, they bang away, and it's steered wide. Gagne feeds it back to the point to Modano. Modano gets it back to Gagne. To Modano, over to Ledyard, moving in, over to Gagne. Gagne fakes the shot to Modano. Modano back to Gagne. Modano now for Ledyard. They just can't get a shot away. Churla's in front of the net. Modano throws it towards the net, and Lume got his skate on it. And now it's cleared down the ice.
It's a heck of a play by Lume. He's taking Churla, and he blocks the shot with his foot as well. Don, in regard to your question, the toughest thing is that the guys that are winning have a lot more composure, and you do things to them and they don't get upset. It takes more composure when you're losing, but you have a lot less because you don't feel good about the way things are going.
Right now, we say hello to hockey fans in Dallas who are watching our telecast on KTXA. There has been a technical problem with the normal broadcast you would be getting from the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver. And we are told that those technical problems will be rectified just as soon as possible. I'm Don Whitman along with Jim Poplinski and Steve Armitage at the Pacific Coliseum, and it's 2-0. The Vancouver Canucks lead it. Avison has it in the corner in front, and it bounced off the stick of Gilchrist, and now it's flipped down the ice with 20 seconds remaining in the penalty to Antoski. Cavallini comes back. A lead pass that wound up in the skates of Platt. He's hurt. Puck bounces away from Cavallini as he was racing in. Platt was positioned along the boards and got a stick in the face, but there was no penalty call. He went down, and Antoski has now stepped back in the ice. Platt was able to get back up into the play. You see him there just skating past Carey Fraser and saying a word or two to him, but there was no penalty call, much to the dismay of Bob Gainey.
You know, adding to the theme that we talked about there as far as frustration and what do, well, look at the power play now for Dallas. Things aren't happening the way the Stars would like it to. The more you press, the tougher it gets. You get sick about coaches telling you to simplify your game. I talk about it a lot. That's the reality of what has to happen if Dallas wants to get back into the game. The little things, dumping the puck by on the blue line, taking a hit and forgetting about it. I'm not saying it's easy, but those are the things that have to be done because Vancouver has got great momentum right now, and it is going to be difficult with a couple of shifts to change the way they're playing their game.
McPhee, who scored 2 goals in game 1, fires it to the corner. Broughton is prevented from getting there by Adams. Ludwig comes in, flips it back to the net. McPhee, a wraparound attempt, the puck loose in front, a shot, another shot. The 2 Broughtons both fired, and it went wide, and another penalty coming up. 2:59 remains in the period as Jeff Brown heads to the box.
Well, Jeff Brown hammers Broughton beside the net. Mike McPhee tried to wrap the puck around here. Watch the save that McLean makes with his right foot here. The shot comes out of nowhere. There's the reaction. Outstanding by McLean. You see Brown on the left-hand side of your screen to the right of McLean. Goes a little bit too far. And Dallas will get their 5th power play opportunity. Make that number 6 in this period.
Hatcher. At the side of that, they score! Gagne was able to take the pass from Hatcher, and finally the Dallas Stars convert on the power play.
Well, Gagne with a perfectly positioned shot here. A beautiful pass by Hatcher, and Gagne finds a little bit of open ice. How important are face-offs? When the centerman loses the face-off, he has to cover the point when it's 5-on-4. He doesn't stay with his centerman, and Linden has to go so far out that there's a seam left that Hatcher finds right here. A perfect pass, and Gagne already on his way to the net, right up top. A perfect shot, and it has to be perfect to beat McLean the way he's playing.
That's a big goal for the Dallas Stars when you consider the power play opportunities they have had in this opening period and have been unable to score. And now Dave Gagne, with Hatcher and Ledyard drawing assists, cuts the deficit in half.
That is only the 2nd first-period goal that Dallas has scored in the playoffs this year.
Hatcher fires it in. McLean leaves it there for Brian Glynn. Dallas Stars have not lost in this building in 2 years in regular season action. This is their first playoff game. Churla was looking into the slot for Eklund. It was beyond his reach, and Lume takes it back to the net. Eklund watching him. Lume's pass is behind Brian Glynn. Now Lume will have to go back and get it again, and Shane Churla is in forechecking. Churla trying to bump Lume in against the boards, but it slipped all the way down the ice, and this is an icing call against Vancouver with 2:05 remaining in the period.
Oh, pretty good statistics the Stars have since December of '91 in Vancouver.
That was a 7-5 loss on December 12th. This year, in 2 games here, Bob Gainey's team won 3-1 on December 19th and 3-2 on January the 27th. Trevor Linden has certainly responded to the new assignment given him by Coach Pat Quinn during the Calgary series when he shifted him to center. Here's a shot by Ludwig right on. A rebound, they score! Neil Broughton pounced on the rebound. It's tied at 2.
Well, once again, a face-off is where this goal starts. A face-off was where the game winner in Game 1 started in this series. Ludwig simply shoots the puck in some quick little steps by the cagey Broughton. He gets to the net here. Linden lets him go by accident. And as soon as he's got a step on him, Broughton, who's very quick and has found more holes in goaltenders than many other players in the National Hockey League, does a good job here. He now surpasses Bobby Smith as the all-time point getter in Stars, that's Dallas Stars and Minnesota Stars playoff history.
The goals 51 seconds apart. Ludwig and Courtnall drawing the assists on the goal by Neil Broughton. And this game is tied at 2. And some of the enthusiasm that this capacity crowd at the Pacific Coliseum had at the start of the hockey game has faded. Tim Hunter is checked as he tried to move into the slot and let a shot go. Broughton steps into Diddick. Puck bounces to the corner. Lawler gets his stick up, and there's going to be a penalty call against Dallas. So with 1:18 remaining in the period, the Vancouver Canucks will have a power play.
Boy, it's difficult as a referee and it's difficult as a player to know exactly where things are going. You know, Tim Hunter is wrestling with Lawler here, and he's got his stick up a little bit, and so does Lawler. Now, Hunter, because Lawler's stick is on top of him, as Hunter lifts his stick up, Lawler's goes up as well. Gosh, I'm not sure that you couldn't give either guy a penalty there. And with some of the other things that have gone on in this series and in the Calgary series and lots of other series, the line between a high stick and not a high stick gets very, very blurred.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks have been dynamite tonight on the power play. 1:18 remaining with the game tied at 2 in the first period. Bure is back in the point. Bure takes his time, went right wide, intended for Lume. It bounced away from him. Gilchrist brings it back. His shot is gloved by McLean for a moment. McLean wasn't quite sure where it was. He had it trapped against his pad, and he was fortunate that he was able to control it.
You know what it's like, Don, when you're walking down the street and you got a couple of loonies and you walk across one of those grates and the loonies start to sneak through your fingers and you are gripping those fingers as hard as you can because you don't want those loonies to fall down into the grate. You'll never get them. McLean was the same way. He was pushing his hand against his leg. He didn't have a good grip on it, but he saw black sweaters coming at him, and if that puck drops, that loony is gone forever.
McLean stopped Gilchrist on a penalty shot in the game that was played here on the 27th of January. We're into the final minute of the opening period. Linden takes the pass. Linden looks back to the point for Bure. Bure had some problems handling it. Was able to push it into Ronning. Behind the net for Adams. Linden comes in to help out. Hatcher will get there, but he won't be able to clear. But he continues to persevere. Then the puck comes to the line. It's knocked out by Neil Broughton. Broughton moves in against Lume. Broughton getting set. He shoots, and a pad save by Kirk McLean, and he's got it in his equipment again for another face-off with 29.4 seconds remaining in the period.
All right, Neil Broughton with great speed. This guy is a guy whose skating has kept him in the National Hockey League. A very, very crafty playmaker. Born in Minnesota. His brother Paul from Minnesota, obviously, as well. played in 1980 in Lake Placid with the team that beat the Russians and went on to win the gold medal for the U.S. He told me he doesn't stay in touch with a lot of the guys on that team, but still has a special feeling. Lots of different players who has gone by the Minnesota organization, and Broughton has seen most of them. Steve Payne, Willie Plett, Bobby Smith, Fred Barrett, all kinds of names from the past. Barrett's been there, done that.
Dave Babbage lugs the puck to center ice for Craven. Craven tried to drop it back for Courtnall. Fired back in again by Diddick, but it was offside. Swede Knox was right on the line, and he ruled that the puck did just come out before it was fired in by the Canucks with 13.9 seconds remaining in the opening period.
Now Murray Craven, after experiencing back spasms in Game 6 here in Vancouver, and Game 5, I believe, as well, came back to play a strong game in Game 7 and has been absolutely outstanding as well in this series. Had a great first period in particular that set the stage for the Canucks to win the first one down in Dallas.
The Canucks ignited their fans with goals by Linden and Bure, but then the Dallas Stars finally cashed in on a power play. And then Neil Broughton, 51 seconds after Gagne scored, tied it, and that's the way the first period will come to an end.
Well, Vancouver with a solid first period, but Dallas has hung on and found a way to get a couple of goals, and really for the last 3 minutes, even though Vancouver has had a power play, Dallas is getting a little bit of confidence. It'll be interesting to see if they can carry that on into period number 2. This is what the Stars needed. Game 3, if it goes the wrong way for the Stars tonight, it's academic that this series is 99% over.
Dallas outshot Vancouver 16-9. The opening period deadlocked at 2 goals apiece, with Vancouver leading the series 2-0. To find out what we've got in our first intermission, here's Steve.
Thank you, Don. We'll be talking to the Canucks veteran defenseman Dave Babbage. We'll definitely be talking about the specialty teams, which in Vancouver, British Columbia, after 1 period of playing game number 3 in this best-of-7 Western semifinal. We are tied at 2. Canucks 2, the Dallas Stars 2. Joining me now, the veteran defenseman from the Vancouver Canucks, Dave Babbage. Dave, I've covered a lot of games in this building, but the crowd really outdid themselves at the start of this contest. I had to give you a bit of a boost.
Oh, no doubt about it. You know, I think they finally deserve something to cheer for. We didn't give them much all season, but no, it's kind of nice. It sure does give us a boost.
Penalty killing and power play, the big story in that opening period.
Well, our power play worked great right off the start. Then, you know, of course, we took a couple penalties. We think they're questionable, but I'm sure they were penalties, and you know, you can't kill them all, especially with the offensive power those guys have.
Is it just me, or the penalty of choice in this series, certainly against Dallas, elbowing? Kind of scary as a fan, and I would think as a player to see that.
Oh, for sure. At times it does get a little ugly out there, but you know, everyone's nervous. You know, the adrenaline's really pumping. You know, most of the time you really don't want to hurt anyone. You want to take them out, but sometimes when the adrenaline's pumping like that and you're after someone or trying to take them out, things happen that you don't want. But you know, I think everyone accepts that. You know, we always talk about taking a punch or an elbow just to make a play is the way you win.
Did you expect the Stars to come running at Pavel Bure tonight?
Well, I think if they did, they'd be taking something out of their game. You know, maybe we were hoping that they'd run around. You know, they were trying to hit us, which is understandable. But you know, if they take stupid penalties, you know, with our power play the way it's clicking now, it's gonna backfire on them.
Look ahead to the second period. What's going to happen?
Well, I expect about the same with everything that happened in the first. There's going to be a lot of action. I think maybe be a little less penalties out there. I think all that nervous energy is probably wasted now. Now we can get back to playing the hockey the right way. But it's going to be a little more close checking, I imagine, and you know, hopefully we get more breaks than they do.
Thanks for doing this, Dave.
Pleasure.
Dave Babbage of the Vancouver Canucks, the veteran defenseman, has been my guest, where after 1 period of play here at Vancouver, we are tied at 2. The Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC television continue in just a moment. We are tied at 2 in the first intermission. Playoff action on CBC continues tomorrow from Washington. It's do or die for the Capitals against the Rangers. Can New York sweep a second straight series? Game time is 4:30 Pacific. doubleheader action on Sunday, coast to coast. First up, the Canucks and Stars. That's a 2 p.m. Pacific time start, followed by Game 4 in the Toronto-San Jose series. That one begins at 5 Pacific time. In San Jose tonight, they are playing game number 3. In the second period, the Stars go in front by a count of 2-1 when Jamie Baker puts one behind Felix Potvin. With that shot right there, it may have been deflected. Jamie Baker gets his 3rd of the series, and then Ulf Dahlin counts his 4th of the playoffs with that wraparound right there to make it 3-1. And Felix Potvin is pulled by Pat Burns, so the Leafs have made a goaltending change. They are down 3-1. We'll be going there live in just a moment. Here in Vancouver, after 1 period of play in game number 3, we are tied at 2. Stay with us. Period is about to get underway. Before that, let's go to San Jose for second period action.
We welcome you people who have been watching Dallas and Vancouver battle to a 2-2 tie in their game as they take a break, and we're going at it here in the second period at San Jose. After 1 period, it was a 1-1 tie, but very quickly here in the second, it is 3-1. Sharks. Baker at 29 seconds. Dahlin at 1:58. So 3-1 San Jose. I'm Bob Cole and Harry Neal in the booth, and here's Baker coming in again. Winds up for the shot. Now the shot. And that one nearly caught the far corner. Gilmore shooting it down the ice. Urbe will play it. Clark was a little too slow getting in for the goaltender. And the Sharks get it out. A collision at the line. Gardner and Baker collided. They're both back up and at it again, though. Hard hit. They just collided at the San Jose blue line. Moving the puck in is Jamie Baker. Harry chasing it behind the net. Potvin, the goaltender, played it ahead. And Gardner had trouble controlling it. Whitney is all over him, but here's Clark. He left it inside his own line. Whitney nearly got loose. Now Whitney is hit by Mironov. The play goes offside at the Leaf line.
And welcome back to the Pacific Coliseum, where the Canucks and the Stars are tied at 2. And the Stars will start the second period with still 42 seconds remaining in the penalty. That man, Mike Lawler.
Well, think back to a huge save that Andy Moog made a few minutes before Dallas got their first goal. Would have been 3-0 at that time. Moog made the save, kept it at 2, and all of a sudden now Dallas has got a little bit of confidence. They've scored a couple of goals for the first time in over 4 periods of hockey.
Mike Lawler and Doug Smolek were both obtained from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Ulf Dahlin just before the trade deadline. On the power play, a shot up high on Andy Moog. It bounces and lay right at the crease for a moment before Broughton grabbed it and fired it down the ice. Jyrki Lumme. He comes away. He has Courtnall to his right. Linden trailing. Lumme moves in. Couldn't get a shot away. He was checked there by Gilchrist. The puck goes to the other side. Bure flips it to the corner. Courtnall couldn't go anywhere with it. A penalty coming up against Dallas as Lawler comes out of the penalty box. And as it's deflected down the ice, the whistle goes, and another penalty call against Dallas. So they just kill off the infraction against Lawler. And Bob Gainey will be forced to send out his penalty killing unit again as Dean Evison heads to the box.
Evison puts the stick on the legs of 10 White, takes him down, and Fraser figured that it was an intentional trip.
Vancouver opened to scoring. Trevor Linden on the power play at 1:05. Then Pavel Bure on the power play at 9:26. Staked the Canucks to a 2-0 lead. But the Dallas Stars came back. 2 goals, 51 seconds apart by Gagne and Broughton. And that's where we are with 48 seconds gone by in the second period. And again, Vancouver with a man advantage, but the Dallas Stars are successful in clearing.
Well, you keep taking penalties, and obviously wears your power play unit out. It's one of the beauties of Vancouver's attack with guys like McIntyre and Hunter that kill as well.
Back to the point now for Lume. Lume over to Brown. Brown shoots. It's wide. Linden had his stick tied up as he tried to pick it up off the end boards, and the Stars fire at the length of the ice.
Now Dallas trying to keep the roll that they've got going for the last 5 minutes or so. Killed one Vancouver power play. Nothing too fancy. They get the puck. They're using the technique that Vancouver has utilized perfectly. Fire the thing down the ice and put a little pressure on the Canucks.
Well, Pavel Bure made a little dipsy when Lume was expecting a doodle at the blue line. Put him offside. Pavel Bure didn't log as much ice time in the first period as Mike Modano, primarily because Modano was out there on the Dallas power play.
Well, and Modano wasn't even on the ice for the power play as much as he usually is. Things going pretty well for Vancouver until Dallas scored a couple of goals. So Quinn, I'm sure, looking to check the ice time a little bit on Bure and save up the fuel reserve when he really needs them.
Andy Moog leads it for Ledyard. Ledyard puts it up high, and it comes out of the zone. If the defensemen get an opportunity when they try and clear, they're killing a penalty, they will try and rifle it up high off the glass to prevent anybody from keeping it in, but they don't always get that chance, as Ledyard just did again.
You know, this is a different rink too than Dallas. The boards are a lot stiffer. You've got actual glass as opposed to plexiglass, which is more plastic. And as a result, the puck doesn't bounce quite as much. In Dallas here, the boards are much, much more lively, and if you recognize that, you can use them to your advantage. Well, Vancouver has had a couple of streaks in their history. Well, they've got a pretty good one going right now, and if they can get one more, they'll equal a record that they set earlier this year.
Pat Quinn saw his team put together a 6-game winning streak at the start of the season, October 11th to October 24th. Home and home with Edmonton. They played Boston at home. They played in Calgary and were home and home with San Jose. But that was the longest win streak of the season.
Well, they had a great start. I think they started the season 7-0-1, their best start in the history of the Canucks, but then some inconsistent and indifferent play in the regular season. And all of a sudden they fell off to finish just over 500.
Diddick shot blocked by Moog. The puck at the side of the net as Evason is getting set to come out of the penalty box, and this will effectively kill it. The Dallas Stars are back at full strength. 2-2 is the score. 17:06 remaining in the period. Play broken up by Lawler. Modano moves up with him. Lawler shoots up high on McLean, and it deflects to the corner. Running. Banks it off the boards, cut off. Here's a chance for Modano. He snaps it, he gets it again, he scores! Modano pounced on his own rebound, and with McLean down, the 50-goal man during the regular season has given Dallas a 3-2 lead.
Well, you look at this shot, and I don't know, maybe you think something of it, maybe you don't. I'll tell you, this is a difficult shot to make. Modano's coming at a sharp angle here, and he manages to get his stick back and get the shot away. And not only that, but then zips up on the rebound, and he doesn't baby this one. Look at this shot, perfectly placed. You don't even see the second one go into the net. He shoots bullets, and when he gets a chance to shoot, he can score goals. 27 shots in the first 4 games against St. Louis. The Canucks have done a good job in taking away his enthusiasm, but a goal and a go-ahead goal can put that back in the Stars' star, and that can pose some problems for the Canucks.
Adams dodges a check. Adams getting set, can't shoot. Gets it back to the line. Lume, he gets set to move in. Lume right into the slot, a backhand shot. It's blocked, another shot. The puck loose at the side of the net. Centering attempt by Craven is blocked. Lume appears to be all over the ice. He goes in deep. Lume tried to center. It's blocked by Gagne. Gagne for Gilchrist, and now Gilchrist frees it for Paul Broughton. Broughton coming in against Glenn. He leaves it there. Gilchrist with a shot that sails wide. Back comes Adams for Lafayette. Lafayette takes a shot up high, and Andy Moog holds it for a face-off. 16:04 remaining in the second. The Dallas Stars, on Mike Modano's goal, have the lead.
The Russians have won the Stanley Cup! The Russians have won the Stanley Cup!
He did that.
You have to give some attention to 32 at the side. If the puck drops to him, he has got a gimme.
Martin Jelena, by the way, who suffered a mild concussion in the opening seconds of the hockey game, went to the dressing room. He has not returned. He is not going to hospital, but Jelena did suffer a mild concussion. At least that's the medical report we have received. 15:52 remaining in the second period. The Dallas Stars with the lead for the first time in this series.
Colin Gainey mentioned that. The first goal he would have liked, when he didn't get that, he got the next best thing. A gritty performance so far. Vancouver, not unlike Dallas in the first period of game 2, really had a strong start, and all of a sudden the other guys came back. The other guys were Vancouver and Dallas. The other guys tonight are Dallas and Vancouver. They've taken the lead. Will that change?
Hedican pinched in from the point. He puts it back in the net. Adams is checked there by Lawler. The Stars, according to most observers, play a little different hockey game when they have the lead.
They play much better when they have the lead. They're a strong defensive team, and when you're not trying to get a goal, you can get back to that disciplined style of play. We'll watch closely to see if they change the system in this series.
McPhee puts on the brakes, gives it to Courtnall. Courtnall tried to get it back to him. Now Broughton circles in the corner. Back to the line. Ludwig's shot knocked down by McLean. He moves it ahead to Adams. Bure is breaking up the wing, but it was cut off on a good defensive move by Grant Ledyard. And then in the attempted shoot-in, it deflected off Adams' helmet over the glass and out of play.
Well, the Courtnall brothers played together for the Victoria Cougars, and now they're playing against each other in this series. Pretty similar as far as their contributions on the ice and shots. So far, Jeff has dominated from the win column and from goals and assists. Both guys, similar characteristics. Russ a little fancier, Jeff a little grittier. And when you put them together on the same team, you can see some fireworks.
Ledyard leaves it back to the net. Modano returns it to Ledyard. Ludwig had some problems handling it. He went the safe way, banking it off the boards. Here's Klatt dropping it off for Modano. Modano moving in the slot. A shot. It's blocked before it gets to the net. Gerla couldn't get a shot away. Babbage broke his stick. Tried to kick it out of the zone. Didick goes back after it. 14:35 remaining in the period. The puck is freed for Ronning. He's got Courtnall with him. He gives it to Courtnall. His shot deflects to the corner. Modano banks it up along the boards, and the Stars unable to get it out. Didick with a good move to keep it in. Matvichuk has lost his stick. Courtnall is chopped down as he moves into the slot. Churla was able to take a whack at his stick and prevent him from shooting.
Well, a solid
now
play.
Courtnall has it. Courtnall takes a shot. Moog was out of position. The puck goes to the side of the net. Matvichuk sprawling all over the place. Here's another shot. Fired wide by Glynn. The puck in the Dallas zone, and realizing that his team is under tremendous pressure, Modano fires it down the ice. Takes a hit just as he releases from Sergio Momesso. It's an icing call against Dallas with 13:49 remaining in the period.
So you're an insurance broker?
Right.
Because you're not an employee of just one insurance company. You can show me the big picture, like an advisor.
Mm-hmm.
So who do we work for?
You.
Your insurance broker understands.
I believe in the Esso products more than I ever did before because I've been to the plant and I have seen what they do here.
They've really proven to me that our products are top quality.
It's the additives involved that make them different. We do stringent tests on gasoline, both during production as well as at the retail pump site.
The quality seal, there's a substance to it. It really means something.
The quality commitment seal, it's a true symbol of what Esso is doing. So with that seal, you know that you're guaranteed a good product from Esso.
So a friend of mine says, I don't get it. There's only two of you, but the Protege's a four-door. I said, we're expecting a visitor. The roomy and affordable Mazda Protege. It's all about working and living, planning ahead, and driving your Mazda.
Watch Andy Moog to the left of your screen Big play here. Ronning didn't like it though, as Moog intercepted a pass that would have generated a great scoring opportunity. And here, he gets beat by a funny bounce on the boards. And Courtnall got the puck from his backhand to his forehand, quick enough to get a shot.
Glenn with a shot from the point. That sails wide. Now racing after the puck is Broughton. Glenn trying to get back. Glenn is able to cut him off and ride him out of the play. In from the point comes Cavallini to keep it in the zone. Gagne is tied up back of the net by Lume. Paul Broughton trying to move out front. Traffic in front of the net. Gagne was looking for a loose puck. It never materialized. And Antoski starts back. Gagne steals it from him. Lawler looks up the middle, trying to feed a lead pass to Broughton. Gilchrist goes for the net. Now it's flipped down the ice by Hunter. Gagne flips it up high. McLean plays it in the corner. Lume goes back to pick it up. 13 minutes remaining in the second period. The Stars leading the Canucks 3-2. Ledyard for McPhee to Courtnall. Courtnall has some speed. Courtnall in front for McPhee, and he deflected it wide. He centered it. There was nobody in position. Matvichuk from the point has his shot blocked in front of the net. Lafayette starts back with Courtnall. Again, Matvichuk has lost the stick. Lafayette goes for the net, took the shot, and Andy Moog has it. That's a rather fierce-looking mask when you take a look at Moog's headgear from the top.
Well, there was a little bit of an altercation. Tim Hunter and Paul Broughton got into it. Broughton got the worst of the exchange. Whoops. And then clearly the washout sign that says, no, yeah, I had nothing to do with that. If a guy's not holding his stick firmly, when Hunter comes down hard there, he's got to drop the stick. And if he bats it out of his hands, it just gives you a few seconds of free play without anybody following you around. But a big difference in Dallas's game this evening has been going in front of McLean. If you look at the amount of traffic that the Stars have generated in this game versus the last two, it's in excess after only 28 minutes of play.
Linden intercepts a clearing attempt by Lawler, but Lawler recovers to get it back. Craig can't control it. Adams tries to turn it the other way. He does for Linden. Linden drops it off. Bure's shot is up high. Linden in an almost similar position to when he scored the opening goal of the hockey game. For a moment, it looked as though he might again try to split the defense. Here comes Adams with Linden. Adams is checked. Russ Courtnall comes back. He has the puck. Moves it ahead to Ledyard. Ledyard with McPhee. Ledyard tried to give it to Broughton. Intercepted, it's still loose. McPhee has it. Now here's a chance for Broughton. He scores! Broughton from a sharp angle at the top of the circle absolutely blew it past Kirk McLean.
Well, those plays that are a couple of feet inside the blue line end up resulting in goals at times. Now Ledyard here probably should have got the puck deep, and then Vancouver probably should have got it out. And they didn't, and because Broughton goes deep and he simply shoots the puck, not a great goal. Fleury got a couple like that against McLean. You leave the puck at the blue line and you give a guy a chance to slap it. Sometimes it's going to have eyes and find a 5-hole or a corner. That one did. Broughton gets his second tonight, and every time he scores a point, it increases the all-time playoff scoring for a Stars player.
Broughton from McPhee for a 4-2 Dallas lead. Broughton through the first 6 games was held without a goal, but he has 2 big ones tonight here at the Pacific Coliseum. He got the goal that tied the game at 2, and now he has the goal that has given Dallas a 2-goal advantage. Niddick being watched by Churla. And this crowd that was really into it in the first period has been rather quiet lately, Jim.
Well, it's amazing the home ice advantage that you think you have that used to be a real factor in the playoffs has disappeared and dried up completely in the last few years. Pass.
Lume now being watched by Gagne. Gets it ahead to Meso, but Ronning was at least a couple of strides offside. Steve, we've got more happening in San Jose. Tell us about it.
That we do, Don. You'll see Ulf Dahlen get his second of the game, his fifth of the playoffs. He comes out from behind the net, just drives it between the pads of Felix Potvin right there. That coming at 14:25 of the second period. Ellett and Peterson drawing the assist. It is now 4-1 San Jose over the Leafs in the second period.
Well, after Dahlen was traded to the Sharks, I bet he never thought that he would be playing in the second round of the playoffs. Shored up the Stars' defense and certainly helped the Sharks forwards. Dahlen, a strong power forward, that shows why Constantine wanted to nab him.
People dressed up in a variety of costumes. 3 ghouls at tonight's game, and the Canucks need 3 goals if they're going to overhaul the Dallas Stars. Those rest in peace signs may be a little premature for the Dallas Stars, just as they were for the Vancouver Canucks in the series against Calgary.
Now, Don, when you get dressed up to go to a game like that, do you drive or would you take the public transit? How would you go?
I don't think you'd take public transportation, would you?
I don't know. And would you get dressed up like that at home, or would you go somewhere else?
How would you explain things if a policeman stopped you en route to the game driving your car?
Yeah. Or if your wife saw you on television. And if she recognized you like that, you'd have a real problem.
Linden goes to the corner after the puck. Edison managed to stay with him. Glenn! They score! Linden redeflects it!
Oh, another face-off that results in a goal. Linden's on the right side of this one as he muscles his way past Evison. Jumps to the puck, a miscue on the side, and Brian Glenn simply fires at the net. Look at Linden. He's already back in front of the net after fighting his way back in. Evison wishes he might have held him a little quicker. I don't think that touched his stick. Brian Glenn probably gets his first of the playoffs, but no matter. The Canucks are 1 goal closer. The big former Star defenseman fires a puck that gets this crowd back in the hockey game.
Trevor Linden with his second of the hockey game. And the Vancouver Canucks are within 1. With the injury to Murray Craven, Linden moved to center. That's a position he played for about 15 games during the regular season. But he was doing such a good job there. When Craven was able to return, they moved Craven to the wing. And Linden has 2 goals tonight, playing at center ice for the Vancouver Canucks. Passes beyond Russ Courtnall. Lume had to hurry back to get it. Adams leaves it for Linden. Linden gets it back to Adams. To Bure, to Adams. Adams puts on the brakes, falls. And Ludwig picks up the puck. Ludwig for Neil Broughton. He has McPhee driving to the corner, but he decides on the diagonal shoot-in. Glenn flips it around the other side to Lume for Adams. Adams misses Linden with the pass. Ludwig has it. Ludwig for Courtnall. Courtnall comes in with Broughton. Courtnall getting set, looking, takes the shot, fired it wide. The big rebound comes off the end boards with McPhee charging towards the net. Charging the other way is Pavel Bure. Bure looks. He has a goal tonight for Brown. Brown couldn't shoot, kicked it in with his skate. This has been a long shift for Linden. He now goes to the bench. Lafayette comes out. Bit of a duel in front of the net involving Matvichuk and Courtnall, but there was no penalty call by Fraser. Craven can't handle the pass. Courtnall banks it off the boards and down the ice. It stopped there for Hedekin. 8:42 remaining in the second period. 4-3. The Dallas Stars lead. Matvichuk looking for Hatcher. Cut off by Craven. And Hatcher got some help. It's pushed ahead to Paul Broughton. Paul Broughton trying to go around the defenseman. He's knocked down. And Murray Craven moves it for Courtnall. He just stops it there for Brown. A backhander that is blocked and fired out of the zone. Paul Broughton is blocked by Hedican as he tried to go after the loose puck. 4-3, the Dallas Stars lead. It was 2-0 early in the first for Vancouver. Dallas came back to tie it. Courtnall for Craven. Craven's shot goes wide. And Dallas with Modano and Broughton scoring in the second moved into a 4-2 lead before Trevor Linden with his second of the night made it a 4-3 hockey game. Craven comes in 3-on-2, drops for Ronnie, for Momesso. Momesso took the shot and a sprawling move kicked it out. Back comes Churla. Churla slips it in for Klatt. Roning's after him. Klatt stays with it. Klatt out front. Churla can't get a shot. He was tied up by Babbage. Ronning goes to the corner, flips it around to the other side. And it's dumped down the ice and out by Tim Hunter. Now Babbage gets set. He fires a shot that hit the side of the net. Ronning has it in the corner. Ronning trying to work out against Cavallini. Has to leave it back to the net. Momesso trying to work away from Eklund. Momesso circles to dodge the check. Still has it. Now gives it to Ronning. Vancouver doing a good job of cycling the puck down deep. Momesso has it again. The Stars can't take it away from the big forward. But finally, he is stripped of the puck and Lawler starts away. Lawler, a good rushing defenseman. Gets set, lets the shot go. Klatt was tied up by Glynn and couldn't get at the rebound. Back comes Lume, 6:25 remaining in the period. Adams comes in with him, offside. 4-3, Dallas leads in the second period.
4-2, the Sharks continue to lead late in the second.
And here with 6:13 remaining in the second, it's 4-3. The Dallas Stars leading. Ludwig gets to the line, couldn't go any further, and Bure comes back to pick up the puck. Bure takes his time as he goes back to the net. Over to Glynn. Glynn leads the attack. Linden couldn't handle it. And at this time, we say hello to you viewers who have been watching the action between the San Jose Sharks and the Toronto Maple Leafs, a 4-2 hockey game in San Jose here at the Pacific Coliseum. It's 4-3, Dallas leading Vancouver. I'm Don Whitman along with Jim Poplinski and Steve Armitage. It was 2-2 after one period of play. Dallas took the lead with goals by Mike Modano and Neil Broughton before Trevor Linden with his second of the game made it 4-3.
Well, Pat Quinn and Bob Gainey similar in a lot of different ways. Not a lot of nonsense when they speak. Direct approach to the game. Don't worry too much about what the other team's doing. And the thing they want most from their players is guys that compete and want to play a team game.
After the Stars had jumped into a 4-2 lead, for the benefit of the folks who have been watching Toronto San Jose, as Modano shoots, he was the one who made it 3-2. Then Paul Broughton fired one from the face-off circle for a 4-2 lead before Linden in front of the net was able to deflect a shot by Brian Glynn past Andy Moe. Hedican falls on the puck in the corner, resulting in a face-off. The first time in this series that the Dallas Stars have played with the lead. Jim, as we mentioned earlier, it's a different style of play from the Stars when they're in front as opposed to trying to catch up.
Well, it's not unlike San Jose or Toronto for that matter. Teams that are strong defensively are simply better when they have a lead. If you can get ahead of them and force them to open up, if they don't have the guns to gun with you, it gives you a pretty good opportunity. Dallas and Vancouver similar in that respect. Vancouver has been flawless. When they managed to get a lead, they've done a great job in holding on to it.
While playing defensive hockey is a reflection of the coach, Bob Gainey. He was a 4-time Selke Trophy winner as the best defensive player in the NHL when he was with Montreal.
Well, and just because you're playing defensive hockey, it doesn't mean you have to Biabor gaining one to Conn Smythe as the most valuable player in the playoffs in '79, combined with good defensive skills and an ability to put the puck in the net in key situations as well.
Well, this crowd at the Pacific Coliseum, another sellout, was pretty quiet when the Stars took a 4-2 lead, but they got some life again. From a sharp angle, it's fired wide by Churla. Hatcher is able to keep it in. Churla has been a physical presence tonight, but he hasn't done anything foolish as some thought he might. Matt Tkachuk with a shot through traffic. Picked up in the corner by Evason. For Churla. Churla tried to get it back to the point. It's intercepted by Antoski. I'm sure a lot of people thought that Shane Churla might try and gain some revenge for that elbowing infraction. Actually, it wasn't even an infraction, but the elbow by Pavel Bure in Game 2. In case you missed it, Bure was fined $500 for the incident, but there was no suspension, as some people thought there might be. Here's a shot by Diddick as he pinched in from the point, and the save is made by Andy Moe. Now the puck deflects over the glass and out of play with 3:54 left in the period. Jim, you have to give some fans a lot of credit. They can become very creative when trying to get their signs on television as they incorporate the CBC initials.
And articles of their clothing. When those guys start waving their pants, they're not coming on TV anymore.
3:47 remaining in the period. The Stars with a 1-goal lead. McPhee flips it around. Courtnall races in, tried to center. Linden intercepted, and Linden moves it out to center ice for Diddick. Diddick with a long shoot in that Broughton goes back to pick up. Knocked down by Bure. Bure for Diddick. Diddick checked by Broughton. Now Ludwig will simply bank it off the boards, and Babbage has to hurry back as he's being pressured by Russ Courtnall. Babbage hits Adams with the pass, a long shot. Andy Moe gloves it and then decides to hang on as Linden was driving towards the net. 3:07 remaining in the period. Steve, what have we got coming up in the second intermission?
Well, we'll be talking to the Stars' young Mike Modano. Has a big goal for his team here at the Pacific Coliseum tonight. We'll also be heading south to the Shark Tank, where the San Jose Sharks are leading the Leafs in their game. Tonight, we'll get an update live from the Shark Tank.
A nice long pass out of the Vancouver zone. Adams takes the blue line and gets a pretty good slapper away at Andy Moe.
3:07 remaining in the second. 4-3. The Stars lead. Vancouver ahead in the series, 2-0. Steals it. Courtnall tried to center for Craven. It deflected. Craven takes a shot that goes up high. Platt has it in the corner. He manages to clear. Lume knocked it down. Now brings it back in. Lume looks in front of the net. Fired wide by Courtnall. Both Lafayette and Courtnall were driving for the net, and Courtnall was able to get a shot away. Lume prevents the Stars from clearing, and now they are able to get it out of the zone. And again, we say hello to Toronto viewers. Here's Courtnall out front, and it's knocked wide by Lafayette, and he was knocked down in the process of letting the shot go. 2:11 the time remaining here at the Pacific Coliseum. It's still 4-3. The Dallas Stars leading the Canucks. The Canucks attempting to take a stranglehold in this series, which they lead 2-0, and the Dallas Stars trying to get back into it.
Boy, all kinds of bodies falling at both ends of the rink. At the start of this hockey game, we had huge words of praise for the job that Vancouver's defense were doing in front of McLean. Well, Dallas is doing a similar job tonight as Vancouver attacks. Boy, they collapsed very, very well. An attempted blocked shot here. The stick didn't make it. Look at all the bodies in front. Lots of Dallas Stars there, 4 on 2 Canucks.
Andy Moog, the starter today for the second time. Bob Gainey had kept his starting goaltender a secret right up until game time in the past in the playoffs, but today he made the announcement in the morning that Moog would be the starting goaltender. Memesso and Cavallini battle. Memesso gets to the line and then is knocked down. Hedican fires it rink wide. 1:47 remaining in the period. 4-3, Dallas leads. Hedican shot up front from Memesso. Oh, what a beautiful glove save by Andy Moog. Number 9 on the all-time career win list, and Andy Moog took one away there from Sergio Memesso.
Well, you said you thought Moog looked very sharp in warm-up. Well, he's got great concentration, and you combine that with a quick glove hand. A couple of goals have been ones that wouldn't necessarily be classics, but I'm not sure you could fault Moog on them. The ones like that that you stop, you can certainly praise him on. I'll continue to go back to period number 1 when he stopped the breakaway that would have made it 3-0. This is another example of one of those key times, something that great goalies are able to do. Sense when they have to stop the puck to give their team a chance and do it.
Hedican works back to the line for Brown. Brown flipped it towards the net. It went wide. Hatcher trying to get away from Adams. Moves it up along the boards. A rink-wide pass is freed for Broughton. He has 2 goals. Courtnall jumps up in the play. Ludwig goes for the net. The shot from Courtnall up high on McLean, and back comes Adams. Adams has only Ledyard to beat, but some good back-checking by Ludwig broke that one up. Now Courtnall heads the other way against Hedican. Courtnall had to take it back as it would have been offside. Then Courtnall is checked as he gets in across the line by Pavel Bure. We're in the final minute of the period. Hedican being watched by Gagne as he moves out slowly. Brown picks up the puck for Linden. Linden fanned on his attempted shoot-in, and Bure has to retreat to get it. Adams for Linden. He tried to spin around and get it to hard skating Jeff Brown, but it was behind him. Hedican for Linden. Linden dumps it in. He goes to the bench on the line change. 22 seconds remaining in the period. Grant Ledyard almost fanned in front of Courtnall. Now Hatcher comes back to help. Lafayette manages to keep it in. Courtnall tried to center for Craven. Lafayette has it. Lafayette is knocked down. Fans want a penalty, but there's no call. It's flipped down the ice, and that will end the period.
Kerry Fraser has a little conversation with Courtnall and Hatcher as they go up the ice. Now, the first period, although it ended in a tie, Vancouver had the edge in the play and outshot Dallas, with the exception of the last few minutes, 16-9. Well, this was a reversal as Dallas took a pretty good final 3 minutes of period number 1 and carried that into the second period. Gainey has to feel a lot better, regardless of the score, of the way his team has played in period number 2. It's been the best period of hockey that they have had so far in this series. They outshot Vancouver 16-6, and they want to see if they can keep the small roll that they have going.
A 1-goal advantage right now for the Dallas Stars. They head to the dressing room after 40 minutes, leading Vancouver 4-3.
BC Tel, the official provider of telecommunications to the Commonwealth Games.
A beautiful evening in Vancouver. Not so hot for the Canucks on the ice. It is the Dallas Stars 4-3 over the Canucks after 2 periods of play in game number 3 here at the Pacific Coliseum. Joining me now is the Stars' Mike Modano. Mike, I was going to ask you how you figured out the Vancouver Canucks, because you have the lead for the first time in this series. But all you have to do is look at the shots, 16-6 in that second period. And I think that tells the story pretty well.
Yeah, it's been a goal of ours to get as many shots as we can up to McLean and, you know, make him work for his saves. we've been throwing everything we can at him, shots from far out, from close in, and he's been doing a great job. But our goals are shots from down low, which we want to try to concentrate on doing, and as many rebounds as we can.
That was the story on your goal, your first of the series against Vancouver. You got your own rebound. Take us through it.
Well, Dean obviously made a good play of keeping it in. I was able to get a snapshot and getting those second efforts, and that was the key. McLean made the first save and was able to get up the rebound and get it back at him. And it's something that's a little different for us to have a lead, and it feels good. And we wanted to get a lead and see how Vancouver reacts to that.
I know you were getting a little frustrated with yourself. What did you do? Have a little talk with yourself, or did Bob Gainey have a talk with you?
No, we didn't really talk about it. I don't want to get too caught up in thinking too much. Just try to go out there and play good defensive hockey and really be there for my defensemen, be an outlet, easy outlet, and get the puck as soon as I can. Their defensemen are big, and they really like to step up on us. And if I come down a little bit lower, it gives me a little more time with that puck to get my head up and make some plays. And things have been working out so far for us. Hopefully get back in this series.
Mike Modano, thanks for doing this. Good luck to you and the Stars in the third period.
Thanks.
Mike Modano of the Dallas Stars has been my guest. They lead the Vancouver Canucks 4-3. Right now, we are going to San Jose to join the Leafs and Stars, Bob Cole and Harry Neal. Gentlemen.
Leafs get it again. Here's Bill Bird coming in to pass it in front to Zessel. We welcome the viewers from British Columbia now to this game in San Jose. The Sharks are leading the Leafs 4-2. I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal, and here's Makarov coming in. A good pass. Putbank made the same rebound. And Putbank keeps it up, and here's another shot. And that just missed. Great pressure by San Jose to start the third period. A long shot by Norton off McCown's skate. The teams are at full strength right now. A minute 40 seconds into the third period. San Jose outscoring the Leafs 3-1 in the second period. They lead 4-2. Ellick comes in with a shot. Potvin on the knees made the save. Big rebound at the blue line. It's kept in by Peterson. Clark picked it up. He was checked by Duchesne. Ellick turning around. All the way back to his own line. It's played ahead to center ice. Now Cronin has to get it across his own line, and here's Dahlin, who has 2 goals for San Jose. Shoots it in. The Sharks are changing as the Leafs come out. Clark cannot handle the pass. Now he has it, but it's offside. Eastwood was ahead of him. Across the line, offside.
Well, another sellout here at the San Jose Arena. The 4th playoff sellout. They've sold out game 5 and 6. 96.5% full tonight. This lovely rink is a real compliment to the 800,000 plus citizens of Greater San Jose. And the San Jose Shark PR department, Bob, have been second to none in taking care of us, getting us ready for this show.
Vancouver leading their series 2-0 after 2 periods in Vancouver. Harry 4-3 Dallas. So the Stars are battling back. Vancouver off to a great start in this game tonight. And the Sharks off to a great start in this game here in California. They're leading 4-2. The series tied at a game apiece. Herbe flipping one up on the boards. Sharks get to center. That was Norton who had the puck, and he knocked it in over the Leaf line. Gill played it ahead. Baumgartner got away and shot the puck in. He and Moore bumped together. Baumgartner kept going. Hit Norton with a check. Here's Jason Moore up there for San Jose. Nearly got in by McRae. Now McRae is sent flying as he tried to hit the big defenseman. The puck dribbled out over the line. Baker couldn't handle it. Now he shoots it in. Potvin stepping out of the net. The Sharks changing very quickly again. They're leading 4-2. Gill races through center ice. Trying to split the defense. Baumgartner up on the play, and he is stopped. Got it again. Took it on a skate with Zessel back of the goal. Tried to dump it in front of Gartner. Poked away back of the net a second time, and Ozelinch is back there. He wheels out, was hit, but got the puck down inside the Leaf line. We are nearing the 4-minute mark of the third. Here's Zessel. Couldn't pick up that pass. Lefebvre will try it again. Ian McCown are the lead defenseman as they come out. Pass to the line, and Gartner goes to center. Weaves away from one check. Shot the puck in. Gilmore went after it. He's covered. And Dahlin is turning a 2-on-1. San Jose shaping up. But the Leafs get Mironov back. Dahlin trying to pass. Nobody could touch it. And the Leafs cleared to center ice. Gartner tied up by...
After 2 periods of play here at the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver, it's the Dallas Stars 4, the Vancouver Canucks 3. Stay tuned for more on Molson Hockey Night in Canada, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC. Tomorrow for Washington is do or die for the Caps against the Rangers. Can New York sweep a second straight series? Game time 4:30 Pacific. Doubleheader action on Sunday, coast to coast. First up, Canucks and Stars, followed by Game 4 in the Toronto-San Jose series. That one begins at 5 Pacific. Third period action from the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver coming up next.
Welcome back to the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver. Game 3 of this Western Conference semifinal series with the Dallas Stars taking a 1-goal lead into the third period. Dallas outscoring Vancouver 2-1 in the second period. And the marksmen were Mike Modano and Neil Broughton. Modano scoring at 3:10, Broughton at 8:17, before Trevor Linden cut the deficit to 1 goal with his second of the night and 7th of the playoffs at 9:52.
Well, Dallas seemed to sit back a little bit in period number 2. The tempo of the game slowed down a little bit. The interesting thing, 3 goals scored in that period, all as a result of turnovers in the defensive zone.
3 of the goals in the opening period were scored on the power play, 2 by Vancouver, 1 by Dallas. Courtnall being watched by Momesso. Flipped down the ice by Ledyard. Back after it goes Hedican. He and Brown have been paired back on the blue line all through the playoff series after they came over from the St. Louis Blues in the trade just prior to the deadline.
Well, Trevor Linden's goal, I didn't think it changed direction from the stick of Brian Glynn. Makes no difference when it's all said and done, but let's see if we can tell here as the puck comes in. Does it change direction? No, that's straight as a die. Unless it caught, it's not possible to not change direction at all. You don't see a flip. Maybe if it caught a piece of tape sticking up, but other than that, that one will probably be changed to Brian Glynn. Mind you, the one that Churla got in game 1 that was credited to McPhee never got changed. Players generally don't give much of a care after that. Once it's done, it's done. And if your team's won, you take pride in that as opposed to who scored the goals.
Well, I don't think Trevor Linden cares very much whether he got it or Brian Glynn got it, but it may have gone off his stick without changing direction.
Now, how would that happen?
Simple law of mathematics.
Well, we can bring some physics into that. That will probably explain it. Mind you, on the front page of a paper this morning, I noticed that Albert Einstein's brain is in a jar. Maybe. No, we'll leave that one with.
One of the reasons that Kerry Fraser had gone over to the timekeeper's bench, apparently someone in the stands is blowing a whistle. And some of the players were complaining. They thought whistles had gone when actually Fraser had not stopped play. Bure comes in with Linden. Bure lets the shot go in front of the net. Adams wheels and tries to fire. It's knocked away, picked up by Courtnall. Courtnall for McPhee. Moves it ahead to Broughton. Broughton puts on the brakes against Glynn. Lets the shot go. Diddick pokes the rebound to the corner. Linden falls as he tries to get out. Courtnall has it. Courtnall dodges a check for McPhee. McPhee has Adams all over him. He can't shoot. Diddick will fire at the length of the ice, and icing is the call against Vancouver with 18:20 remaining in the third.
Gainey was telling me that the preparation for games now has changed dramatically since he was a player. As everybody knows, there's so much more information. Scouts are everywhere. Different teams would have scouts watching the series now with the matchups that they might potentially encounter in round number 2. Video and satellite transmissions allow teams to have tapes of all the different games, breaking down power plays and penalty killing and 5-on-5 play. You really have to sort through it, make sure you get the key stuff as opposed to being overwhelmed and getting information overload.
Gainey had a quick response when someone asked him how big the hole his team was in. After losing the first 2, he said, right up to our knees. Wraparound try, and that's fired wide by Gagne. Courtnall moves it ahead to Lume. Lume drops it off for Craven. Craven for Lume. Lume back of the net. Lume backhand shot. It goes wide. You talked earlier, Jim, about the straight stick that Lume has, and that's one of the reasons he's able to fire a pretty solid backhand shot.
Now, when you're picking up passes on your backhand, it makes it simpler as well. Mind you, there's lots of players in the league that got terrible crooks in their sticks, and they still manage to do it. I think it's simpler with a straight stick, though.
Platt is bumped in against the boards by McIntyre as Hedekin goes back after it. McLean will play it away from him for Courtnall, and then Courtnall flips it high. Ledyard retreats for Dallas, being watched by McIntyre. Ledyard manages to skate away from him. Ledyard shot, kicked to the corner by McLean. Churla flips it into the corner. Churla trying to keep it in, trying to set up Medano. Medano battles with Antosky. Now Hedekin goes in to help out. Hedekin falls back of the net. Medano trying to stay with him, and Churla came charging in hard against Hedekin. Platt for Medano, a backhand shot. Talk about guys with a curve in their stick getting away a pretty good backhander. Well, Medano just did.
Medano's got a nice, mild, long curve. Bit of an uplift on it. He knows how to handle it and enables him to still get a pretty strong backhand away. Now these two gentlemen, after a couple of periods now, ice times, Medano's dropped off substantially that period. He only played 4 minutes. Shots, Bure had none. Medano got 2 rather, to even up at 4 apiece. And the Courtnall brothers, very, very similar. Only 1 goal separating 2 teams. Now, of course, Mother's Day coming up, guys. Make sure that you're thinking about what you can get for Mom. They've only got the rest of tonight and Saturday to get it done. And the Courtnall's mom, Kathy, will be joining us here on Sunday for game number 4 of this series.
Well, she has been watching all the games in the series, I'm sure, with mixed emotions. But as Russ said, she wins either way because one of her sons will move on to the final in this division, and Russ is hoping it is him as he jumps in and fires a shot wide. Ronning starts back. He cut right in front of his own net. Moves it ahead to Jeff Courtnall, who tried to slip it through for Memesso. It's flipped out of the zone. Hatcher having some problems handling the pass. It deflects over the glass and out of play. He was telling me this morning that he speaks with his brother Kevin, a defenseman with the Washington Capitals, on a fairly regular basis. But he hasn't talked to him for the last few days, and the Capitals are in big trouble, down 3-0 to the New York Rangers. And Darian Hatcher is trying to prevent the Dallas Stars from getting into a similar predicament.
Well, Hatcher is originally from Sterling Heights, Minnesota. He played midget in Detroit and then went on to North Bay, the Ontario Hockey League. 6'5", 205 pounds. A big man who shoots pretty well, had a tremendous rookie season. Dallas wants to see that repeated again. Ronning here, finding a seam that caused a couple of guys in the Vancouver bench and the organization to hold their breath for a second as he wheeled in front of the net. No harm done, though. Ronning got out of that one unscathed.
Ludwig misses Gilchrist with the pass. Lume goes back to the corner, and Broughton, or Churla, I should say, was charging in as well. And Lume just managed to dodge the check. Now Courtnall. Knocked down by Churla. Lafayette had a backhand shot, though, that got tangled up in the skates of Ludwig. Lume for Craven. Lume was looking for a return pass, but the lane was blocked. Churla dodges a check. He flips it to the corner, then he goes to the bench on a line change. Glynn gets it over to Lume. For Lafayette. Broughton cuts him off. Long pass by Hatcher. Slides all the way back into the Vancouver zone. Now it's Courtnall again. Courtnall flips it over on the wing for Hedican. Hedican centered. Intercepted by the Stars. And again, Hatcher fires at the length of the ice. Back after it goes Brown. And this is an icing call with 14:35 remaining in the third period.
Today's true performance car is distinguished by many things.
Kirk McLean has been the busier of the two goaltenders tonight, and he has been beaten 4 times. Andy Moog has surrendered 3 goals. And in San Jose in the third period, 6:43 remaining, it is 4-2, the Sharks leading the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hedican prevents a clearing attempt. Here's a shot by Adams, and the puck came flying through the crease. Brown lets it go. It's blocked in front of the net, and the Stars get it to the line, not out. Now they will succeed in moving it up the ice. Linden comes down the left side. He's checked. Stars come back. Broughton gets it over to McPhee. Courtnall jumping up in the play, but Dallas is offside.
Boy, Grant Ledyard did a great job as Linden jumped out the outside. You got to force the big guys to the outside, and then Ledyard times it perfectly. Takes Linden hard and legally into the boards. The puck goes the other direction. Vancouver has but 1 shot in the first 6 minutes of this period. We talked about Dallas and the way they're better playing with a lead. They've got a 1-goal lead now. Vancouver has got to find a way to penetrate Dallas. Both teams very similar statistically. Throughout the regular season, you can go through all the different key components. So it's no surprise that this series now is becoming closer, despite Vancouver completely dominating Dallas in the first 120 minutes of the series.
Trevor Linden, the Canucks' all-time point leader with 50, 2 goals in tonight's game. Mike Lawler drives it to the corner. Churla couldn't pick it up as Diddick played it ahead to Antosky. He can't go anywhere with it. Tim Hunter bumped by Klatt and turned around. Diddick moves it for Antosky. Antosky is checked. Lawler gets it over to Eklund. Eklund cross-ice pass, and Churla was upended and went sliding into the Vancouver goal. Back comes Bure. He moves it ahead to Ronning. Ronning drops it for Bure. Bure tried to fire the shot, and Churla got back to partially knock it away from him. And there's going to be a penalty against Antosky as he got his stick up high in the corner against Hatcher. Darian Hatcher, and this is why.
Hatcher gets the stick up on Antosky. Antosky once again with speed. Now, there's a difference between high sticking and protecting yourself. If a guy like Antosky's going to take me into the boards, that's the call that I'm on my way to the penalty box. But I think Churla thought that Antosky had the penalty as well. He was keeping his cool as Antosky had a discussion with him. And then all of a sudden, Churla changed his tune as he saw that it was Hatcher going to the box.
13:07 remaining in the third. 4-3, the Stars lead. Brown moves it across to Lume. Lume shoots and fires wide. Bure has it. It bounces away from Brown. Gilchrist trying to race after it. Brown trying to prevent him from getting there. Backhand shot, and there's a penalty coming up. Brown is going to go off for hooking Gilchrist. Gilchrist trying to utilize his speed to get past the Vancouver defenseman, and Brown put the hook on him, and he draws a penalty.
Well, this is a bit of a miniature tractor pull as Gilchrist tries to drag himself away from Brown. The puck's laying out by the blue line. Look at Gilchrist. He just keeps chugging away. Brown's got a heck of a free ride there. The penalty wasn't called until right here. Gilchrist ducks and dives. Got a great shot away. McLean had to be sharp. And then he stopped Evison as well.
There isn't a penalty for mugging in the book, is there?
No, but there is in New York.
12:48 remaining in the third period. 1:41 in the penalty to Hatcher. So assuming they play even 4-on-4, Dallas will have a 19-second power play. Here comes Courtnall. Linden drops it off for Lume. Lume is checked, and back comes Medano. Medano working against Hedekin. With Broughton, he drops it off for Broughton. Medano went to the front of the net. Broughton, a wraparound attempt, and it was blocked by Courtnall. He and Linden start away. Linden has the puck. Linden drops it back to the line. Lume tried to slip it through. Comes to Courtnall. Courtnall gets the shot as he took the pass from Linden. And Andy Moog has it between his pads.
Well, the goaltender's pads are bulging at the sides so that when you put them together, you can't shoot between if they're stacked up. Moog's glad that his have got that bulge. Look at this shot here. He stacks the pads straight up. Courtnall tried to fire it right through. Look at Courtnall come across here. This is a 2-on-2. Not easy to play, even if you're a defenseman. Courtnall's not. He reads the play well and stops Medano from coming across. Now he gets behind Broughton. Broughton, a great skater, manages to come out. But McLean was there for him. Courtnall has been very, very solid throughout these playoffs. And there's a look at those pads. You can see the bulge on the sides of them. They're straight across the middle. Andy doing a nice job at turning them that we can see them. Gilchrist, though, doesn't appreciate this and blocks the look at. The pillows, as they're affectionately called by lots of goaltenders and many guys out in front of them.
And prior to the playoffs getting underway, the National Hockey League measures the goaltending pads of all men in the nets. During the season, there are some suggestions that certain goaltenders have larger pads than should be allowed.
Arthur Urbe is a common name. Richter in New York is as well. You can't get a penalty for having pads too big. As soon as they measure them, away you go. If you want to blow them up with something after they're done, I guess that's your choice.
Craven shot bounced off the pad of Moog and hit the post. Now it's Gilchrist looking for someone to give it to. Puck at the side of the net, and the wraparound attempt by Evison sails to the far corner. Bure puts on the brakes under pressure from Eklund. Eklund in forechecking for the Stars as Lume goes back of the goal. Now Bure weaves his way out. He gets away from Eklund. Bure with a long shot high off the glass. Lume drives in from his blue line position for Craven. Eklund is after him, and now the Stars have the power play. Lume can't handle the pass. Hatcher is after him. Lume did a good job of keeping it onside. Out front for Bure, and Bure is knocked down, and the Stars come back. Will they get a chance? Only 2 seconds remaining on the power play. Courtnall for Eklund, and what a save by McLean as the penalty expires. Brown is out of the box, and the gathering in front of the Vancouver goaltender.
Eklund tried to dump it over McLean, but he didn't quite get enough on it, and McLean was very, very equal to the task. A great chance for Dallas. Super goaltending by McLean. Off-wing shot by Murray Craven. Gets a piece of Moog and then a piece of the post. This would have tied it. Moog's had a couple of posts tonight. He's also had 3 outstanding saves one-on-one, not to mention the rest of his play. And at the other end, watch Eklund come in. As McLean goes down, Eklund can't get it up quite high enough. The score is still 4-3.
Cavallini back to the line. Hatcher flipped it towards the net. Brown ties up Gagne. Medano manages to get the puck. Hedekin is after him. Medano Back to Gagne, his shot. Right on. Modano at the side of the net. Couldn't slip it past McLean. Courtnall cuts right in front of his own goal. He moves it over to Hedican. Hedican has Linden racing towards the net. Hedican decides to hold and go in deep. Hedican can't center. Now Courtnall picks up the puck. Courtnall circling. Being bothered by Hatcher. Back to Hedican. His shot is high and wide. Modano chops it out to center ice with 9:54 remaining. Courtnall runs into a check at the blue line. Hatcher has the puck. Linden is after him. Can't get there in time. Starting away now is Broughton. Broughton racing down the left side. And Divick did a good job of getting back to knock the puck away from him.
Broughton with great speed. He didn't have an opportunity until he put the burners on.
Ledyard centers. McLean steers that to the boards. And back comes Bure. Bure with some speed. He shoots. It's high. Big collision in the corner as Craven goes down. So does the Dallas defenseman. Ledyard is up and skating off to the box as Brown goes in deep for Vancouver. 9:05 remaining. Here's a shot right on. Courtnall let that one go, and now Courtnall goes after Craven. Now he forces Bure back. It's left there for Babbage. Babbage has Courtnall on him. Courtnall causing the Canucks problems with his forechecking. One of the advantages of being such a great skater. Just darts from man to man when they have the puck in the Vancouver zone. Now it's McPhee flipping it down the ice. Back after it goes Hedican. 8:26 remaining in the third. 4-3. Dallas leads. Churla comes up to meet Adams and knock him off the puck. Ronning circles back for Hedican. Hedican got turned around. He backhands it in. Gilchrist attempted to hit Churla, but it was a two-line pass. With an update from San Jose, here's Steve.
They are celebrating in the Shark Tank in San Jose, and with good reason. The Sharks have just scored. That man right there completing the hat trick. It's a beauty. He takes the puck, goes in deep, 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 and then decides to go high on Felix Potvin. And it makes it 5-2. He waits, puts it over the glove hand of Felix Potvin. The third goal of the night for Ulf Dahlen. 5-2. Sharks lead late in the third. 2.5 to play. Don?
Bob Gainey, in talking about the trade, said giving up Ulf Dahlen was a high price to pay for Smolik and Lawler, but with the injury to Sonorti, he felt they needed help defensively.
Had to do it. Sometimes you don't want to give up a certain player. If that's the guy that they want and you need the other two, you don't have a lot of choice. And with the victory over St. Louis, that trade makes sense.
Ronning takes the shot after stopping. It's blocked at the side of the net. They try and jam away at it. Adams got a stick on it, but it was poked away from him. Courtnall forces Ronning back into his own zone. Glynn flips it up along the boards. It comes free. Mamesso overskates it.
Don, as you mentioned, Ledyard looked a little slow going off. In fact, he's gone to the Stars dressing room. Their doctors are now looking at his left shoulder.
Ronning has it. Ronning for Courtnall. 2 injuries in tonight's hockey game that have sent players to the dressing room, and Martin Jelena has not returned. Shane Churla's slap shot goes over the glass, out of play with 7:10 remaining.
Well, that could be the third injury if it caught somebody. Churla can really shoot the puck. Caught a stick and went up over the glass.
(34-24). The Stars have outshot the Canucks with 7:10 remaining in this third period. 9-2 the shots by Dallas over Vancouver.
It's amazing how you can play a strong defensive game and outshoot your opponent. Vancouver made that very clear in these 2 games and in games against Calgary. Good defense can still generate very strong offense. We're seeing that in the third. Vancouver's got to get through to Moog, or this score will stay the same.
Bob Gainey, in talking about the problems his team was having penetrating, said Vancouver should have the same problem in our end because our defensemen can be every bit as physical. And tonight, they have responded. Here's Babbage letting a shot go. It's blocked, and the Stars come away, led by Gilchrist. Gilchrist with Broughton. Gilchrist fires it over to Gagne. Gagne circles, tried to center it for Gilchrist. It went off a stick, and Craven has it. Craven's pass broken up. Here's a chance for Courtnall. Saved by McLean.
Whoa, two great efforts. Courtnall went right up to the hoop to grab that one, brought it down, and McLean made an outstanding save as he stopped the breakaway by Cortland that he generated all by himself with a tremendous individual effort.
6:07 the time remaining in the third period. The Dallas Stars protecting a 4-3 lead. They held a 4-3 advantage after 40 minutes of play. There has been no scoring in this third period. Russ Courtnall has to go back and set things up for Dallas in the neutral zone.
Well, you can see a slightly different strategy by Gainey. He's not putting Modano under a whole lot of pressure here as Dallas continues to dump the puck and put some good pressure on Vancouver. Modano's only played 3 minutes and 8 seconds in the 15 minutes that have almost expired in this third period of hockey.
McPhee is out there with Broughton and Courtnall in a defensive role for the Dallas Stars, and this will be an icing call as Brown goes back to touch it with 5:25 remaining in the third period. Courtnall has played a solid game. He hasn't scored, but he's been all over the ice in a forechecking role.
Absolutely. You talked about that ability to skate. Fundamentals get stressed, but I don't think people ever recognize how important they are. If you can skate like Modano or Courtnall or Eklund, and you've got a good understanding defensively of the game of hockey, you can play at a very, very high level. Offensive talent is completely God-given, and the quicker you understand that, the better your chances of success are in the NHL. Goals are going to come at times, but just because you're working hard, it doesn't mean it's your right to score. Combine skill and a little bit of good luck, and the goals go in. When that luck isn't there, the skill still can be, but it means that good defense is what keeps you in the league and keeps a one-goal lead.
Well, this capacity crowd trying to provide some support for the Canucks over the final 5:25 as they look for the tying goal. The Mesa was on Hatcher. Ronning tried to free it, but the Dallas Stars are quite content simply to drive it out of their own zone. They're not trying to do anything fancy with a one-goal lead. Platt and Eklund. Platt's backhander is steered to the corner by McLean, and then it's knocked over the glass out of play. 5:03 is the time left in the third. 4-3. Dallas continuing to lead, and Pavel Bure, as the Canucks battle for the tying goal, is undoubtedly going to get a lot of ice time.
Well, and when you get a lot of ice time, it means you need rest. One of the things it's important to be able to do in high-stress situations, whether you're a goaltender like Moog, a scorer like Bure, whether you're a guy that's only playing 5 minutes in a game, you have to be able to rest when you get the opportunity. Tough for young guys like Lafayette when you're not used to it. The day of the game, you're flipping and flopping. You want to lay down and have a snooze, and you can't seem to relax for 20 minutes. Same sort of thing. You got to be able to relax on the bench as well in a 2-minute time period if required. Get your energy level up and let your conditioning take over. Don't waste energy through nervousness.
Here's a steal by Jeff Courtnall, but he can't continue on with it. Craven bumped Platt, but the Dallas forward was successful in moving the puck down the ice. Now Glynn brings it back. His shoot in, blocked. A lead pass intended for Gagne beyond his reach. Courtnall would drive it back into the corner. Craven skates in. He's checked by Hatcher. Churla comes out with Gagne, who takes A pass down the right side, lets the shot go. It's blocked by Glynn. Glynn takes him in against the boards. Lume is in there fishing for it, so is Gilchrist. Still no whistle from Kerry Fraser. He's standing right there. The puck goes back in among the skates. Finally, it's kicked free. Now Lafayette comes in to tie up his man. Gagne trying to work out from the corner. Lume has lost his stick. He plays it with his glove. Gilchrist flipped it to the other corner. Paul Broughton takes a hit in against the boards from Lafayette. Glynn freed it, moved it ahead to Craven. Craven flips it rink wide for Jeff Courtnall, and he skates it out of the zone. He fakes the shot, is checked. Linden races after the loose puck. He was looking to center for Bure. He almost instinctively knew that Bure was going to be racing up on the right side as he threw it rink wide.
Well, they've really meshed together well since Linden assumed that center position. You're going to see lots of this combination in the remaining 3 minutes of the third period.
Mike Lawler gains control. His clearing attempt hits a teammate. Now Broughton flips it high into the Dallas box with 3:02 remaining in the third period.
Playoff action on CBC continues tomorrow from Washington. It's do or die for the Capitals against the Rangers. Game time is 4:30 Pacific. Doubleheader action on Sunday, coast to coast. First up, the Canucks and the Stars at 2 o'clock Pacific time, followed by Game 4 in the Toronto-San Jose series. That one begins at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Following our game tonight, stay tuned for Prime Time News. And in San Jose, they have just had a time-consuming brawl. It is 5-2, San Jose leading late in the third period.
And here at the Pacific Coliseum, we have 3:02 remaining. Linden tries to get the draw back to the point for Bure, but it was picked off by Evason. Evason just flips it down into the Vancouver zone. Bure goes back after it. He's being watched by McPhee. Bure having a few problems controlling it. Now gets it to Linden. Linden for Didick. Didick flips it to the corner. Ludwig prevents him from going after it. And McPhee has it on the left wing boards. McPhee tried to move it ahead to Courtnall, and it was beyond his reach. Babbage can't go anywhere with it. McPhee has his shoot in blocked by Didick. Over for Bure. Bure leaves it there for Adams. McPhee's after him. Adams circles in the corner. Gets it back to Hedican. Hedican shoots. Knocked down in front of the net. The puck loose, and Hatcher was successful in clearing. 2:08 remaining in the third. 4-3. The Stars lead the Canucks. Lume leads the attack. Lume with a couple of nice moves. Lume looking in for Bure, and it was broken up. Platt comes back. Courtnall's after him. Ronning goes over to pick up the loose puck, being watched by Platt. Now Hedican over to Lume. Lume for Memesso. Memesso coming up the middle, flips it to the corner, races in after it. Lawler trying to poke it away from him, and Lawler has it. He plays it up high. Churla trying to get out. Cut off there by Babbage, and finally it's not free. Here comes Churla. He has Platt racing up with him, and he fires a shot high off the glass.
Vancouver has got to stand up at Dallas at the red line now. The Stars are doing an excellent job of getting that red line and dumping it in and putting some pressure on the Canucks as McLean comes out of the net.
The Vancouver net is empty. It's flipped out to center ice. Lafayette, the extra attacker. It's flipped into the corner. Hatcher goes back after it. Hatcher trying to clear. He can't. Back to the point. Didick with a shot. It's up high. That hit Trevor Linden on the helmet or the side of the head. Here's a race for the loose puck. Didick back after it. He manages to get it out to center. Craven over to Linden. Linden staying out there. Linden working his way to the corner. Hatcher is after him. He tried to center. It's loose in the Dallas zone and flipped down the ice with 30 seconds remaining, and Didick manages to get there as Gilchrist was desperately trying to take off the icing and isn't happy that the call was made, and Linden is cut. He stayed on the ice despite taking that puck in the face.
Well, I don't know what better example you can give of the way Linden is approaching the game now since the start of the playoffs. This is a perfect example of that. He gets a slap shot right in the side of the head. Here's a look at it. Diddick shoots the puck. Linden's going on his way to the net. Looks back to see where the puck's coming. Catches him right there, straight in the side of the head. Maybe it caught a little bit of the helmet, but I'll tell you what. That's like somebody hitting you with a ball-peen hammer when you're not looking. Linden continued on, put his hand up to his face to see how badly he was cut. And the next thing you know, the puck came to him and he said, well, I guess we can get this looked after in some time. I'm gonna keep looking. Unbelievable. Good commitment by Trevor Linden.
It's final, San Jose 5-2 over Toronto for a 2-1 series lead. The Dallas Stars hoping to make this a 2-1 series with the Vancouver Canucks in front. 26.7 seconds remaining. The Canucks called a timeout. I was really surprised that Linden stayed on the ice when he caught that shot and was able to lead a rush, and he's going to stay out there.
Well, that's one thing if you get dinged off the top of the helmet and it flies off. I can't tell whether he's cut above or below the eye, but you can imagine how much that hurts. Watch now the take no prisoners attitude that can be in front of the Stars net. You see that Vancouver doesn't necessarily have the biggest guys on the ice. Guys like Ronning, Bure, Courtnall. You don't always have to be the strongest. A huge vote of confidence for Lafayette. Quinn has him out there. Trevor Linden, who's been strong. The referee's doing a little bit of ice repair, and that buys some time for the Stars to have a huddle off to the right of Andy Moog.
During the Calgary series, when Joe Nieuwendyk was hurt, falling behind the net, catching a skate in the rut, there were complaints that the ice at the Pacific Coliseum at one time had been the best in the league, but no longer is listed among the top buildings in the league. Even the Vancouver players have complained about the ice here at the Pacific Coliseum.
Well, I'll agree with the first comment. I always enjoyed it. I can't tell you how bad it is now, but when a player gets hurt with a crack in it, you have to take a pretty hard look. Well, the big, strong guys can fight their way through, but the little guys sometimes are craftier. Let's watch and see whether Hatcher can put the grip on Ronning in front of the net, or whether he can outsmart him and get a shot.
Boy, talk about commitment and dedication. Trevor Linden, despite being cut, not only stayed on the ice, he hasn't even taken a breather. He's in the face-off circle. Courtnall with a quick shot. It's blocked. And the Stars are quite content simply to flip it down the ice. They're not thinking about that empty net, at least not immediately. They're trying to take some time off the clock, and Gilchrist does, sending Bure back. Now Bure speeds down the left side, but he has Broughton after him. He frees it for Lume, and it's dumped to the corner, and that will do it. It comes out to center ice. Bure takes it back to his own line, and the Dallas Stars, after losing the first two games of this series at home and falling behind 2-0 here at the Pacific Coliseum, have scored a huge, huge win.
Well, I was convinced that Vancouver was on such a roll that they would keep it going. Dallas showed me something about the character of their team in this victory. You know, it wasn't just one guy. Every person to a man picked up the level of their play on the Stars team, and as a result, they sneak by Vancouver here by one. A tremendous game. Moog with a couple of huge saves. Just think back when we talked about a save that he made on Adams in the first period, on Bure, and said this just might come out to be important. That doesn't take anything away from the game McLean played, but you could pick a whole pile of different Stars from the Stars and give credit to why they won this hockey game.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks continue to have problems on home ice. They're 5-1 this playoff season away from the Pacific Coliseum, but on home ice, they are now 1-3. Now let's go downstairs to Steve Armitage.
The Molson 3 stars in Vancouver tonight. The first star from Dallas, Neil Broughton. The second star from the Vancouver Canucks, Jyrki Lume. And the third star from the Dallas Stars, Craig Ludwig. Dallas beat the Canucks by a count of 4-3 to climb back into this best-of-7 Western semifinal, but Vancouver still lead 2-1. Tomorrow, from coast to coast, the Rangers and Capitals in what could be the final game of that series. Game time is 4:30 Pacific. And now, from all of us at Hockey Night in Canada, we say good night from Vancouver. We'll see you on Sunday afternoon.
Bruce Hood, or Brian Lewis rather, I'd look at that game tonight and say, Kerry, take your luggage home. You're done for the year. Yep. We'll see you next year at training camp. You cannot decide outcomes like that. And I'm not saying he decided. I should take that word away. He changed the complexion of the hockey game and absolutely handed Dallas life that they did not have.
Yeah. Well,
that series might have been over tonight. I mean, if the Canucks are up 2-0 in the first 10 minutes,
well, that's
Dallas has to totally change their game plan.
That's exactly my...
But they had no time to change their game plan. Why? Because they were always on the power play.
What Fraser did tonight was it very well could be the crucial turning point in the series.
If the Canucks go on to lose this series, the first period of tonight's game will be the turning point.
Here, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sports Talk, go ahead.
Hello, Dan.
Yes.
How you doing?
Fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry to keep harping on this point, but I totally agree with you. I think you've spoken the sentiments of all the Vancouver Canucks fans tonight. I can't believe the call that Ludwig in the first period puts Jellin out of the game, and Fraser just lets the play, just doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Totally shocked by that. And I think that when he called those penalties when it was 2-0, took the steam right out of the Canucks attack because they were just coming in waves. They were flying out there. In the second period, it looks like they were just afraid to hit anyone because they were going to get called for something. And
you're exactly right. They changed. They became very tentative. We were talking about that up there in the press box. I mean, here's Antoski have a chance to lay a big hit on somebody. He holds right up. And it was happening all over the ice.
Yeah.
You see, with Fraser, you don't know what he's going to call. If he'd call everything, that'd be one thing. If he'd call nothing, that would be one thing. But he just decides, well, it's time for a penalty.
Well, I think after the
I mean, what a joke calling a holding stick penalty at this time of year. I mean, you could call that on every play.
I agree with you. He called to even it up. He called the penalty when Hunter got high stick. He got high stick. It wasn't much of a penalty, but you could just almost call the game. You knew it was going to happen here.
Oh, I mean, it's a joke.
Just one more point. I think the fine to Burry for $500.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a joke in itself.
Well, I just hope Ludwig gets $500 now.
Yeah, and one more point. It seemed like he was taking some liberties out there after the play, charging people. They didn't really call any penalties, and you couldn't see because the camera was already panning to the rest of the play. But I thought that he should have been called for a few.
Well, not only did he hand him 6 power plays in the first, one of them was an awful long 2-man power play. So it's one thing to have 6 chances in the first period, but to have a 2-man power play for as long as they did, and I'm trying to remember how long it was over a minute 22, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then early in the second, I don't know if you were at your television in the first minute, the Canucks started the period on a power play, and one of the players, I think it was Burry, came out of the right corner, dumped right in front of the net. He had a great chance to even up and give Vancouver a 2-man